yeah, maybe, yeah, let's do it. My name is Kat Bine, and this is my show called Cat Calls that I do every Thursday on my channel, twitch.tv/KATBEIN. That's right. Oh, hi, baby. Wait, music. Good to see ya. Girl Jackie here. Alex English is here. And if you're not here live right now because you're watching this later on YouTube or perhaps Spotify, as I plan to start putting these episodes because they would make good podcasts, I cordially invite you to come on down and join me some Thursday at 4 p.m. PT and be part of the show, because the show is so much more fun when you're a part of it and you're dropping cute little phone emotes like Alex English is. Look, the phone is real. It's not just an internet thing. It's a real phone. Anywho, all right, we're not here to just talk about my phone. We are here to have a wonderful conversation with the one and only, everybody please give it up for TT the artist. TT, yeah, I know. TT is absolutely incredible. I'm so excited to have her here on the program. Because when my guest calls herself an artist, she means it to the nth degree, okay? Not only is she a badass musician and performer, she's a film director, she's a designer, a painter, she's a dancer, she's a community organizer, she's a businesswoman, and I'm just sure that she could do literally anything that she wants if she put her mind to it. TT has created her own universe with her bare fucking hands, people, okay? She has... Where did my brain go? I was looking at DMV represent and I got excited. DMV represent. DC in the house. All right. Yes, so she's created her own universe with her bare hands, pushing herself toward greatness with not a lot of outside help. And today she shares those opportunities with other women via her music label, Club Queen Records. She just dropped her album, CQ2, Club Queens 2 in December, and you should go and cop it on Bandcamp ASAP. We were just listening to a little bit of it before the intro, and I was like, I have to buy this immediately. Everything on it is so good. And there are features from Kuki Kawaii, who's, you know that song that's like, should I back it up? Is it what up? I don't know. It's all over TikTok. You know the one I'm talking about. Also, Black Star and previous Cat Calls guest Unique is a frequent collaborator of hers, shows up on CQ2. Most notably though, and what I'm really excited to talk to her about today, is the documentary she just released called Dark City Beneath the Beat. It is streaming right now on Netflix. It is a true labor of love. It's only about an hour long, and it is nothing short of poetry in motion. Music and movement are main characters in this, and the portrait that she paints of Baltimore and its people, its artists, its families, it's just such an honest and emotional portrayal. I laughed, I cried, I danced. I had a whole spectrum of emotions and reactions. It's so beautiful. I can't tell you enough. You really need to just go watch it. You can definitely carve an hour out of your life to watch this thing on Netflix. You're going to do that anyway. So just watch Dark City Beneath the Beat. And, glad you carved out an hour for this conversation. I probably carved out a piece of my brain, and I don't even know what's going on anymore. But I'm going to bring TT on the line, okay? She's going to bring all of her wonderfulness onto the show. And as I call her, I want to play her song Dig for you guys. There's a really fun music video for it. It was released back in 2016. But for this, TT went from city to city. She went to Miami, she went to LA, she went to Baltimore, obviously Baltimore. She went to Jersey, and she filmed different dancing groups. And she said that this kind of was like the beginning of her documentarian journey. So I think it's a really great song. She said it would be a really fun one to start things off. And when we come back, I will have TT on the line, and we will all party, yay, whatever. I only had one cup of coffee today, which is probably enough, but whatever. Here's a dig. 1, 2, dig, drop, dig from the north all the way to the south. Let me see you dig. Turn away, world, here we are, me and TT the artist, woo! And Baby Wait Music is in the chat, and she was like, I want to remix this immediately, and Alex English was like, I need to see this shit live. So the energy was coming off of the video, as I'm sure was your intention with Dig, of course. You were just telling me off screen that Dig is one of your favorite videos that you've done. Why is it one of your favorite videos that you've done? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's a little
Am I
messy.
getting a little pixelated here?
Yeah, but it might be me because my internet
Oh,
just wants to
random.
hate me every time I do a cat calls lately. But hi, Francis
Huh.
on photo. In the meantime,
Um,
there you are. Oh, it's just listen. You're
yeah, I
just an
can just say.
impressionist painting. I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me good?
I can hear
Okay.
you just fine.
Um,
I'm sure it'll click back on.
yeah, I just put TT up there for now. I'm gonna come back.
There you
Hi.
are.
I
Oh,
don't know
sort
what's
of.
going on. Okay. So, I'm sorry. Let's take it back to the question.
Yes.
What was the question again?
I would love to hear why Dig is such a favorite of yours and what that experience was like for you going from city to city, filming all of these wonderful dancers. I imagine they were all representing their city.
Yeah, Dig was an ambitious project because at the time I wanted to create a music video tour. So my goal
Mm.
was to create a music video tour, and I didn't have a budget. So what I did was I thought about the cities that I was, um, that I had connections with and new promoters, and I got booked to do shows in those cities. And then while I was in those cities, I spent 24 hours just trying to round up people to be in this video. So most of the people I met were on Instagram, like dancers I connected
Ooh.
with. Tommy the Clown was one of them from the film Rise by Dave LaChapelle. I've always wanted to work with him, so I flew to the West Coast. We shot some scenes, and of course, we covered Baltimore, Miami, which is the origins I'm from, Jersey, New York. Like we really were interested on focusing on these inner city areas where street culture and dance culture were very vibrant. So for me, Dig was really the first in the beginnings of what kind of led me to wanting to do film and use music as a big part of my filmmaking.
That is so cool. I can definitely see where that line comes through all the way to Dark City Beneath the Beat, which I want to pick your brain about so much. But before we get into it, I want to just talk to you about your beginnings. I was so excited to hear that you're originally from Miami in South Florida. I grew up in South Florida, and Baltimore is like your home and your heart and where you represent. But what was it like growing up in Florida? Were you big into the Miami bass sound as a kid? Were you musical? Were you a dancer? What was going on?
Yeah, I lived a very sheltered life, actually. I grew up in a religious home, so I was kind of sheltered from like secular music, but then that just made me go sneak away and listen to it. So I was mostly like listening to 90s hip hop, R&B, dance music, Miami Bass, like Uncle Luke,
Yes.
Two Live Crew. I always talk about these records because those were the fundamentals of my musical, anatomy.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Baltimore at 18 to go to art college, that's when I was introduced to club music. So club music kind of became a part of my voice. It became a part of my musical identity. And, I became a part of that community. So I felt that it was something positive coming out of Baltimore City. It was energetic. It just made me connect with home, even though, I was far away from home. So that's really like the breadth of my musical background and development. I kind of, got my performance side of me from being in the marching band in high school.
Same.
Because we used to have to we used to have to perform in thousands of people. Yeah.
Wait, what did you play?
You know how that goes.
What did you play?
I actually never played an instrument. I was the first ever in my history of my school to go from being on the auxiliary dance team to being the drum major.
That's amazing. How did that happen? What even inspired you to do that? You were like, I can do this.
Well, I was like, down south is about dancing and showmanship with the drum majors. So if you know how to dance and you're a leader, you can try out for that position. So
oh wow,
I had to do this like boot camp they did at the band camp and learn how to march and do all that. It was very difficult, but I felt like I was a good leader. So they picked 3 drum majors, and I ended up being their 3rd pick. So it was kind of a sweet victory because a lot of people were doubting the champ.
Yeah. That's
I was like, I'm gonna be a drum major. Hello.
That's fucking awesome. I mean, obviously you were right. You are a leader. You continue to lead, but I like that was something that started so early on. You were like, excuse me, hi, yes, that's my position, thank you. I will trailblaze my way in. Incredible. So you moved to Baltimore for art school. What were you studying?
I started out studying illustration and graphic design. Then I was kind of like over that. And so I tried to go to teaching program because I was like, well, I'm in art school, so got to get a job.
Yeah.
But I just kind of did
trial.
Right. I didn't like the formatting of the teaching program. So I ended up going to video production for like a semester because I thought, okay, that sounds cool. It was the first time that was being offered as a major. So this was like 2003. And then I was like, not really seeing a reflection of myself. So at the time, they were only showing references of like foreign films and never showed us not one Spike Lee or Lee Daniels film or John Singleton film, which was unfortunate. Yeah. But after that, I just decided to go to general fine arts with a concentration in video. So most of my, background was just like general fine arts in general. So I took photography, sculpture, video production is what it was called. And, it all kind of worked together. And that was basically my background overall when I was in school.
Man, that's just incredible. That sets you up to do so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jealous. I've been like, I want to go to video school. Video is hard. Yeah. I don't know. It's not time for me to go back to school. But I want to take a moment to shout out your incredible wall of icons behind you. You did tell me yesterday that you created this yourself. Can you talk to us a little bit about who's behind you and why and this whole thing you've done?
Yes. So this wall is called the Hip Hop Divas and R&B Soul Divas. It's a collaboration between myself and my friend Bree Burleigh. So it's a doodle-inspired series where we're highlighting women in hip hop and R&B and soul culture. And we are creating this wall to celebrate herstory because I feel like herstory is left out of history. There's a lot of contributions that women in the entertainment business make towards the conversation of music and arts and culture. And I feel like they're just not celebrated as much as they should. So this is just a wall that's going to be honoring those voices, past and present, and the future. So I'm excited about continuing this series. It's been really fun. It's colorful. People can buy their own portraits or commission us, and we can build your own wall. So it's like, one of the many things that I'm developing through my series and my brand, Black Pop Art, which is a celebration of Black culture through pop art.
I love that. I love both of those things, so I'm really excited to hear that. That's so cool. What about, why are those women behind you the ones that you have chosen to put behind you right now? Are Salt and Peppa or Cardi B or
So right now, I have like a lot of people that aren't on the wall because I was showcasing some of the art. So I had to like fill my wall with what I had.
Yeah.
But we have like, of course, Mary J. Blige, Rihanna, Janelle Monáe, Alicia Keys, Queen Latifah behind me, Lauryn Hill, Cardi B, myself in the middle.
Hey!
That's from my film. At the top, we got Patty and Gladys from back in the day, and then we got City Girls in the corner. So, like I said, we try to represent the full spectrum of female hip hop and R&B and soul, and just like pay homage to these women.
I love that. Do you have a Missy done yet?
Yeah, we do actually. That one was on display.
I love it. I know it's crazy. You're so right about the fact that we don't celebrate these women's and these icons as much as we could, but it's like there's so many of them. That's what's so wild. Like there have been so many powerful artists in just hip hop alone, honestly, and yet we still find ourselves having this conversation of like, why don't more women do hip hop? And it's like, but so many are and have. Like, what is the failure here? Why is it not? Why are we still have to have this conversation? I don't know, but I appreciate that you're representing and continuing to push female voices such as your own. I want to go back to...
I think that...
You talk.
No, go ahead. I just think, you're right. It's like, if we don't do it, who's going to do it,
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
When you moved to Baltimore, sounds like it was an incredibly freeing experience. I'm sorry that you grew up under the harsh shadow of religion.
It was pretty intense.
Yeah. But who took you to your first club night, and what did you feel that first time that you were exposed to this scene and this music?
My first experience was my friend Mo. He's a best friend of mine. He's a Baltimore native, Maurice Bradford, painter, artist. And he took me to the Paradox, which is like the nightclub where the hub and everything, where I was introduced to club music and ballroom and Vogue. And so that was really where it went down. And, you know, from there, we were going all the way up until I graduated college. It was just like the spot to go to, you know what I'm saying? It was like crazy, like warehouse vibes, just like amazing Black culture, Black dance, Black people, Black beauty, all in this one hub. And so I really, really enjoyed that space, and it was just a much needed space, I feel, in the city of Baltimore. It's no longer here, but you know, it definitely has a lot of memories there.
Yeah, I loved in your, we've got an RIP The Paradox from Baby Weight Music. So she's from DC, so I don't know if she ever made it out there, but maybe she did. I loved the kind of tribute section that you did in your film, but I thought maybe it didn't exist anymore because you had created this really beautiful, striking, all yellow backdrop where these people were dancing. But I'd love to hear what it looked like inside. You said warehouse vibes. You know, I guess I'm assuming it was kind of stripped down. But like, what would the typical night out at the Paradox have?
Well, first of all, there was a long, long, long line that you had to wait in. And so you would hear like the music coming from inside, you know, with sounding kind of underwater. So you hear the bass bumping.
Yeah.
Then you got to get in the door, and then, you know, they check your ID. If you're under 18, you had to pay extra.
Oh, but you still got to go.
They didn't sell alcohol there, you know.
Oh, cool,
So, but still, you know, if you was under 18, you had to pay extra. So it'd be like $12 or like 18 or something like that.
Oh,
so
worth
then
it.
Get in. Normally, like when you walk in, it's like this pathway, and there's the 2 bathrooms, and of course that's your first stop. Make sure your outfits look good. Then you keep going. You bang a left. That's the first dance room. Like it's like this big open space. DJ, the sound systems was crazy in there. So that's where like the hip hop club music room was, and if you go out of that room and keep going back, you pass the concession area. There was like locker. There was like, no, there's bleachers. So you could like sit on the bleacher.
That's
there was like basketball. Yeah, then there was like a little graffiti area, basketball court thing. Then you go past that, and there was another room that was smaller, which would be like where the voguing and the ballroom culture would be. So the dancers there. You have the DJ, and then there was an outside courtyard. You could just sit outside if you want to have a cigarette or, you know, whatever, chill with your friends. And then on the big room, there was a stage also. So like the stage used to be lit. They used to do all kind of things in there, fashion shows, balls. Like it was definitely a amazing place and gathering of people that were of the culture.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you for giving me such a wonderful, like, guided meditation there. It's been so long since I was inside a club at all. I was like, oh, yes, bathrooms.
Right.
Is there anywhere in Baltimore right now that's kind of like running with the baton, or are there any space clubs that are like going? I mean, obviously this year, like, no, but you know what I mean?
You got spaces like the Crown, which I say the Crown became like a underground spot for a lot of creatives in the city that were more in the kind of like hipster artsy space, but like it became like a more of a creative hub for a lot of artists, musicians. That's about it. Like if you wanted to hear club music, you could go to the Crown and hear club music, but for the most part, there's really not too many more places that are open. Like you have more like urban clubs, like I don't even know if it's still open. The Club Select was one. You got Club Euphoria, but these were more like it's a different crowd over there.
Right. Know? Yeah.
So yeah, I would say the Crown would probably be that place where it was like kind of an intersection of different cultures in Baltimore.
That's cool. I think one of my favorite lines from the movie as well is, I can't remember who says it, but someone is describing Bmore music, and they say it's like energy, and that really resonated with me because that, you know, I love Jersey Club as well, I love Miami bass, and I feel like those styles of club music, they just kind of force your body to move. They light up your every cell in your body is just like ready to go and jump to action, and That's what I love about it so much. I want to hear how you were brought into the creation of it. I think you and Mighty Mark were kind of a pair getting started. How did you fall into this creative?
I got involved around 2000. I want to say 2008, 2009. I recorded a record at the time. It was Murder Mark. He was called Murder Mark.
Right.
He had a group called Yo Boys, and Samir Debonair, who was like one of the pioneering club music producers. He was working on a track with, they were working on a project with Aaron LaCrae, who was also kind of a person that was taking club music and releasing it on a major level. So I did this track called Let Me Sean, and that was like my first time rapping on a club beat. I did a verse, and then after that, Mighty Mark hit me up. He was like, yeah, let's work. And so me and Mighty Mark did this song called She Rockin', where I just kind of rapped on it. And then from there, we just started making music, like 2009 till today. Me and him still rocking with each other. I've taken the music from South Baltimore studio to home studio where we were recording in a closet to now, being able to rent studios. He has his own studio, like to television, movies, and film. So that's my guy.
Listen, some of the best music has been made in a closet. I believe that.
Yeah, sure.
I just recently realized that J-Lo's Big Booty samples your tune Dat a Freak. And I really hope you got some nice money out of that situation. Were you treated nicely in that exchange?
Yeah, I still get my little royalty cut. I get my 50 cent, $2. I'm just kidding. It's great because that song has been out, but if something happens with it, I still get a small share of a bigger pie.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was one of my first big placements ever. So that was exciting to just have that opportunity and get like real writing credits on a record. That was cool.
So good. Okay, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I want to ask you as well. I had Unique on the show about a year ago. I love Unique so much. She's amazing. And I know you guys are really close collaborators. And she was telling me about the PB&J parties that you guys used to throw. Can I hear about the PB&J parties from you?
Yeah, Unique started that whole wave where she took, the culture Jersey Club, Baltimore Club, and Philly Club and created a platform for them all to exist, like a traveling show in a way. And I got a chance to perform when she did an after party for the Afropunk Festival.
Yes.
So I was able to be a part of the showcase. It was really, really fun. It was just great to see everybody under one roof. I think that that's something that should definitely be explored, once we're back outside. I think it's great. It was just great vibes that entire time.
Yeah. How's it been for you this year? You've been in LA, I believe. That's where you live now. So
yes.
How has it been navigating just this shitstorm of a year? And how are your friends and family?
For the most part, I feel like I've been blessed to at least have had some sort of cushion savings. But definitely we had to figure it out because for artists, like 50% and some of us, 100% of our income was stripped of us, not being able to perform and travel and do the things that, pay our bills. So, I feel like I've been blessed to have many talents to supplement where I, may have lost out on money. So it kind of helped me get more into, preparing for other things. Like I started to write scripts and got more into script writing. I got to take a few master classes. And so now that things are starting to light up, people are asking for more materials in different ways, not just the music. So my film came out, it was playing in different festivals, over 30 festivals. And then we just premiered on Netflix a few weeks ago. So I feel like I was able to see just the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's kind of how it felt. It felt like darkness, but you just kind of had to keep putting one step in front of the other to get to the other side. That's kind of how this pandemic is summarized for me.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay, let me play the Dark City Beneath the Beat trailer, and then I can really pick your brain about the film, even though I've brought it up a million times already. We're gonna go there.
Growing up in Baltimore is crazy.
I done seen a whole lot walking on these sidewalks. I done seen a whole lot walking on these sidewalks.
Baltimore club music, it's like a rush. raw, energy. It's everything. It's emotion. In Baltimore, you have to fight for respect. We dance in the streets because we don't have anywhere else to go now.
Right, y'all, that is the trailer. Girl Jackie, absolutely need to watch that movie. Artists making movies, wave forever. That's what she says. Agreed. Talk to me about this film. It's so beautiful. I told you yesterday, but I really just, the way that you made the music, the main character throughout was so brilliant and so beautiful. I read that you started actually filming this back in, I think, I wrote it down, 20, yeah, but that you came up with, like, everything that could have gone wrong and somehow that led to it being a longer feature. I'd just love to hear the journey you were on to create this.
Yeah, so I came up with the idea in 2006. I was a singer in college, and like I said, I had become a part of that culture and just being in the spaces. So I was like, man, somebody needs to document this. So once I graduated, I was in New York for a couple of years, but I was still going back and forth from Baltimore. But then I decided to move back to Baltimore around 2008, and that's when I started like kind of taking my music journey more serious. That's really when TT the Artist was formulated, like around 2008. So that's kind of like from 2008 to 2011, I was trying to figure out what this was, how would it look. 2011, I was able to like kind of test the waters out, and I was going to do like a short version of the film because I didn't even have no idea about filmmaking, how to do a feature film or anything. And so just a lot of trial and error, things that like didn't work out. We lost footage on hard drives blowing out. It was crazy. But around 2016 was when grants started to open up for local filmmakers in Baltimore. So I just started proposing to grants. And, of course, it came with a lot of rejection.
Really?
But once I found my first one, yeah.
I mean, I guess I really have no idea what it's like to apply for a grant. So.
Yeah, because they were like saying they felt that I was very ambitious and that I was asking not for enough money. Like they were like, you can't, for 10K, you can't shoot a feature film. And in my mind, and I was being resourceful. I was like, I sure can.
Wait, but that seems so asinine anyway, though. Like, oh, you've got a great idea, but like you didn't ask for enough money, so you don't get any of it. Like, hello, just anything helps.
They say so they were like, but then they said, what you could do is switch your proposal to using this 10K to do like a proof of concept or a trailer. So that's what I ended up doing, and then I took that smaller piece and pitched it for a larger grant through this grant called the Saws Ants Innovative Fund through Johns Hopkins Film School. Yeah. And we ended up getting the full grant. So we were able to get to the production of it. And then later on, I met Issa Rae through a partnership. And she came on board as a producer for the film.
I'm such a fan of everything that she does. So since the awkward Black girl days, I've just been like, you're amazing. Yeah. What did you learn about yourself in this process? I mean, it has to have just been such a huge undertaking to do.
I learned that, if you see things through, they will truly happen, not to quit, not to give up. It was tough at times, but I'm happy that I saw it through because now it's just more conversations around the artists involved and more light shed on the culture, and people are starting to really, really have pride in the city again and themselves. And I feel like that's what this is about overall.
Yeah, I mean, I was really struck by, you don't kind of put a rose-colored lens over everything, right? Like, you're very honest about the hardship that everyone in this film is facing. But you're not focusing on the victimhood. You're focusing on the fire inside each person that refuses to just let it be dampened. Like, you are, like I said, I wanted to get up and dance watching all these people dance. I wanted to laugh when they were being funny. I cried when, that scene where the woman is dancing in the graveyard, that just like pushed me over the edge. And it's so beautiful. How does it feel to show Baltimore in that way? And And have you heard from the people of Baltimore how it felt for them to just see themselves represented in probably a truer way than they're usually represented, I could imagine?
Yeah, I think it felt great because I feel like it was long overdue. You know, we always see so many negative imagery on Baltimore in the media. I think this piece really shows the city, and it's one of the few pieces that's really about Baltimore. And like, you see it, you know, you see the museum, you see the inner harbor, you see the
Yeah.
market, and you see the people, right? And so, you know, of course, I feel like I'm supported by my community at this point. I feel like everybody involved has taken it and been able to benefit off something from it. And so I see so much more happening. I see the resources already coming to the artists that were involved. You know, people are working on new projects. Now they're fueled and creating their own content. And that's what this was about. It was about sparking that light within everybody to just get proactive about what your dreams are, realizing your dreams and knowing that you can do it even on a basic level. You can make the efforts to start today and make a change in your community.
Absolutely. I'm a big proponent of that. I mean, even just with this stream, it's like I didn't know what I was doing. I just started doing it, and you figure it out as you go along. And like, you don't have to wait for someone to be like, it's perfect. Like, get messy. I don't know. Fuck around.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love
and
to.
It happens. It happened in the meeting I was in. It happened in the meeting I was in, or whatever. It happened in a meeting. It always happens. Technology is just always that.
I know, it's our friend. No,
Right.
I know, it's fine. Life happens. We're live.
Always.
Yeah. Oh, some nice comments in the chat as well. You know, I think one part of the film that quite obviously is very intense, but very playing on both sides of the emotions that I was talking about. The scene where you've got the cop and the man rapping in front of the stadium, I believe, and you're just able to say so much with just the visual, and it goes both ways. You know, him dancing, and then at the end with his handgun, and I'd love to hear from you what some of the scenes are that you're really proud of, and how you collaborated with everyone featured in the film to make it happen.
Yeah, it just kind of evolved to this performance art moment. You know, I was like, this is a documentary, which a lot of people are like, wait, it's a documentary, but it's a documentary. It's a historical artifact that, you know, profiles Baltimore City and its community. But performance art is used as an element, you know, so we have this performance art. We're trying to make a statement. We're showing the social climate that, you know, exists in Baltimore and America, and what a lot of Black people and people of color have to experience from police, exciting these type of, like, you know, ego-driven police, basically executions publicly. So that's what that was about. That's what that piece was about. And so it was just kind of like the people around, they were all real, experiencing it in real time. They didn't even know if it was real or fake at first.
Really?
So,
yeah.
Yeah, and the dance just was a moment where it's like the police is kind of flexing on him, and, you know, so he's like showing off his dance, you know. So that's what that whole piece was about, you know. I think the point was pretty straightforward, but I like the approach to it, you know. Like, performance art is a great way, I feel like, to create dialogue.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting too. I like that you were just kind of doing that in the middle of the city. I guess it's not like you had them shut the street down or whatever. Were there other moments when filming that you kind of got to see people's reaction live to the dances or whatever was happening?
Yeah, when we did the scene at the harbor, when they're in all the red jumpsuit, sweatsuits. That was another scene. Actually, that was like a reclaiming our space moment, like flash mob style. But at that same day, there was a protest going on across the street that just popped up out of nowhere.
Wow.
Like, it was like we were filming, and then there's a protest happening. I thought it was really interesting how that was taking place.
That is crazy. The energy must have just been like over here. Wow. And you also chat about your move to LA, and it really resonated with me as well. The statement you made about, you know, I want to go to LA so I can show these people that would collaborate with Baltimore artists what Baltimore artists are doing. Coming from South Florida myself, I know that there's a big conversation in Miami all the time about like Miami retaining its artists, or do people just leave and go to a place like New York or LA because they think that that's where they can get noticed? But I think you made a really good point about, you know, it's not just about me being noticed, it's about me putting a light back on the place that I'm coming from. So how has that experience been for you out in LA? How many years have you been out there, and what's that been like?
I'm on my third year here. I am actually celebrating my third year for my record label. I just realized it was like May 4th was when I believe we did our launch party out here.
Happy birthday!
We had a big party, but
yeah, I know.
But I think that the transition's been great for me because it's definitely allowed me to connect with more people. And in doing so, I've been able to offer more work opportunities for artists in Baltimore who have the talent and are ready to, you know, operate on that next level, as well as helping others develop. So that's always going to be a part of my mission and my life work, is to, you know, definitely work with women, you know, LGBTQ, underrepresented voices, and also artists coming out of Baltimore, because I feel like that's the city that gave me my wings, you know, to fly. And so if any way I could be of a resource to those artists, you know, or point them in the right direction, or just give them a conversation, and I'm usually pretty open to that.
Yeah. Talk to me about Club Queen Records.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Thank you. Club Queen Records is a woman-focused record label I started 3 years ago, and my mission was just really to offer a platform to support more women, specifically women of color, in hip hop, dance, R&B, and pop music space, and just have a way for them to, you know, have the support that they need as they are developing as artists, because I just don't think we get that as much in the mainstream world. So really to increase the representation of female voices in the music industry is what Club Queen Records is pretty much all about.
Yeah, I love it. Talk to me about some of the artists that you're working with right now, whether on the label or not, just in the city or whatever. I want to hear all about it.
Yeah, so we just dropped our second compilation, Club Queens 2, CQ2, and it's available on music platforms. You just got to search Club Queen and CQ2. But even on that project alone, we have artists like Unique, Cookie Kawaii, Ash B, who's like pretty dope. Like she has a song on that show, Legendary, on HBO.
Oh, awesome.
And then of course myself. But the Club Queens compilation project is all about creating a space for women in dance music and their voices. Mm-hmm. So I hope that, you know, every year we want to do one where we collaborate and put out original records where people have to come to the source to get the music. And so I hope by, you know, our next one we're working on, Club Queens 3, we have amazing features, even more features and participation from the women that, you know, we feel like we should be celebrating in that space.
Yeah, you're already working on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's always records. You know, we always have so many records we're just sitting on. So, like, yeah, it's in the making for sure.
Everyone's shouting Cookie. How was it watching her viral TikTok success?
Yeah, Cookie's she's like really amazing. We talk, we text. You know, she's getting ready. She's working on stuff. She just worked on a record with Mighty Mark called Hey DJ. Go stream that.
Yes.
But yeah, the song we got is featured on CQ2 is called Come Over. It's more of a like melancholy song, club song, more like R&B mixed with like it's inspired by like 90s R&B songs like Ghost Town DJs.
Yes, my boo.
Yeah, so it's me and Cookie on that joint.
So good. I know. Like I said, I was listening to it before, and I guess I miscorrectly called it your album. It's a compilation for the record.
It's an album. It's still an album. It's just a compilation album.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's fucking fire. I am purchasing it from Bandcamp presently. It's so good. I also want to hear about all these little projects that you were kind of teasing at the beginning of our conversation. You said that you're working on script writing. That is so awesome. Mm-hmm. What kind of script writing stuff are you playing around with?
Well, I have a few, but I'm in a director's lab currently, a woman's focused director's lab called Powder Keg.
Ooh, and, that's a great name. Shit.
Yeah, it's a short film. It's a short comedy, and so I'm working on that. And hopefully it'll be out this year later. We're just waiting for like the COVID stuff to just go away.
Get out of here. Go away, shoo.
Yeah. And so that'll be my first scripted produced piece, actually.
That's so exciting. I mean, I feel like you've been working so hard for a long time, and this is really the when people say like an overnight success takes 10 years or whatever, I feel like with the release of this documentary and hearing that you're working on so many other kind of film-based projects, it feels like a next level. But you've just been hustling for so long. I don't know. I hope that it feels re-energizing to have all of these things going on. But
yeah, it's great. It's motivating me.
Yeah. Are there any other music projects from Club Queen Records that we need to have our eyes and ears out for?
I mean, we have a SoundCloud where we put a lot of our artists that we've done releases for. So you can listen to it on SoundCloud at our Club Queen SoundCloud. Also Spotify, of course. We have a bunch of artists that are really dope. We have an artist named Jade Elliott, Naked Vice, Crybaby with 2 eyes, CRII, Liv FOMO, which is a non-binary queer duo. Colada, who's from Baltimore, myself. Of course, I've collaborated with Unique on many records through the label. So we're definitely growing in the numbers, and it's just been organic, And then, of course, we got the merch we're getting ready to kick off.
Yes.
Right now, we have hats and available for pre-orders. It's a movement, I'm really just trying to keep the wave going, like beyond, the U.S., internationally. Like, it's a real movement, and I just wanted to spread. Yeah. That's what I think we need. We need to spread that we're women, we're supporting each other, and we can do it just as big as the guys.
Absolutely. It's been shown. All of those ladies behind you have proven that fact many times over. But we're still out here proving it. Since you've worn so many hats and now are finding yourself in this leader position that you apparently have had your entire life, what is one piece of advice that you would give to artists or, women or otherwise who find themselves in a position where they kind of have to do it all themselves? Like, is there something that they can keep in mind to move through those darker moments, or is there a kind of a trick that you learned in all of this?
I just tell people you got to do your due diligence. Like, nothing's going to come to you, and if you don't put that energy out there or post or even if you don't have any money to go in the studio, most of us have a phone that has access to social media, so you can literally talk into your phone, show your talent through your phone. If you're a rapper and can't get in the studio, you can just rap your verses on your phone, create a social media page. So many artists have come up like that. You got the girl Chica, she was just rapping, now she's a Grammy-nominated artist. All she did was just rap her verses. So how do you get through those moments? Is that you just got to start with something. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't have to be the best quality. We can use Issa as a great example. She did Aqua Black Girl. She didn't even have lights and the mics and stuff, but then ended up on HBO. So use the tools that you have access to. Use YouTube. Google how to become a rapper. Google how to put music out on iTunes. Google all those things. And create a task sheet for yourself. Write 10 things. If you can't figure it out what you want to do, write 10 things that you love to do, whether it costs money to do or whether it's free. Because most likely out of that list, there's going to be everything on that list will have something, a career path that you can make money with.
Yeah.
Like read, most likely you might be good at being a lawyer or writing books or an editor for book writers or an author. If you like to eat food, maybe you could be a good foodie, a vlogger, or, they even have food competitions. But I'm just saying there's so many careers out there, and your life's work becomes what that is. Like, what do you want to do? What do you enjoy doing? And then creating that space for yourself.
It's beautiful advice.
And being grounded and having like a means of outlets for the emotional side, so like meditation, prayer, connecting to something higher than you. That's what's worked for me, whatever that source may be, whether you're into energy spirituality, whatever, but like really finding something that you can, concentrate on and set your attentions every day of the things that you want to bring into your life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good reminder too.
Mhm.
And one step at a time. Write your list and then one thing at a time. That's what is helping me get through as well right now.
Absolutely.
All right, TT. It has been so wonderful getting to chat with you today. I know that you have been up doing interviews since the ass crack of dawn, and I'm so happy to hear that because you deserve all of the shine and all of the spotlight, and especially because you're sharing it with so many other people. I think that is just the best way to go about doing things. Is there anything else that you want to share with the world? Girl Jackie's pre-ordering a hat right now. I love it. I want to get on that energy too.
Is that the notification I just got?
Yeah, maybe.
I am, just excited for all the people that are tuning in. It's been a long journey. I've been doing music independently for over 10 years, and a lot of artists feel this way. They never feel like they got their big break, but, just never underestimate when your moment comes. And so spend this time preparing for that. So these interviews, they're easy for me because I've done it, for years and years and years. And so I know exactly what to say. It's flow, it's easy. But, like I said, until your moment comes, you just got to keep preparing. You got to work like you're in that moment, like you got to see it through. So that's the best advice that I can give to people who may feel stuck. You just have to believe in yourself enough to keep going. Don't ever, if you never stop, you're going to reach your destination.
That is true. That is true. I think a big part of success is just tenacity. If you give up, it's not going to happen. You have to be, slightly insane. And on the way out, I did pick up both Pussy 8 and Feeling Good. So which song do you think we should come out the party with? Or we can do both.
Well, honestly, I'm feeling good right now.
Yeah.
Send out a positive vibe. This is actually I'm featured on this track, but it's an artist that I work with on my label named Megan Vice. She's super duper dope. I would encourage everybody to go check out her music too, because she's fly and I love her sound. So this is Feeling Good, Megan Vice featuring me, and it's my jam.
Yeah, it's so good. All right, that was a great choice. All right, TT, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to buy a hat.
Yes.
Bye.